Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, Brantley and I are going to be talking about the Snyderverse as a whole and if we think it's going to get restored. So if you guys are new around here, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We just hit 100 subscribers. So I want to thank all of you guys for that. But without wasting any more time, I do want to hop right into the subject of the Snyderverse. And starting off, I wanted to ask you, Brantley, your thoughts on the Snyderverse. And did you think Zack Snyder's Justice League is worthy of a follow-up?
I do think that the film is worthy of a follow-up, but I will be real, like prior to Zack Snyder's Justice League, I was not a big fan of the Snyderverse. I mean, I'm just not really a big fan of Snyder in general, but I think he's kind of very hit or miss for me. But overall, after seeing the Zack Snyder's Justice League, I would definitely be interested to see what the rest of that will look like. Of course, we know we have his leaked, not leaked, but like his general idea that was released, like of what he wanted for his next few films. So we and that had some pretty interesting concepts in it. But yeah, overall, I would definitely like to see it. I'm not like super gun ho about it. If it doesn't happen, I'm not like too heartbroken. But yeah, out of curiosity, I would love to see like what the rest of his vision would be on screen.
Yeah, dude, I definitely think, dude, there's like two levels to this. There's like hardcore Zack Snyder fanboys, and then there's just us like a regular, I guess, movie watchers in terms of like just Zack Snyder content, I guess. And I don't know, like I'm same with me. Like I don't know, like I'm not gonna like die if we don't get a Snyderverse, you know, like I'm not gonna like cry about it, but I would love to see it. That's like I would love to see it, and I will keep pushing for it to happen. But at the end of the day, if it doesn't happen, it's not that big of a deal to me because I'm not a Snyder fanboy. Probably the only Snyder movie that I really love is Watchmen, and then I also like Dawn of the Dead. It's one of my favorite zombie movies, but it's still not anything crazy. But his DC stuff is just, it's not really my vibe. Batman vs Superman, he got an Ultimate Edition and still didn't really wow me with it. And Man of Steel, he got to do his vision, and I'm not the biggest fan of it. I don't think it's complete trash, but I'm not the biggest fan of it. Do you think that Zack Snyder will like, because like, okay, also Brantley, I don't know if we talked about this before, but do you remember when Zack Snyder was like, I'm busy with other projects, when people asked him if he's going to continue and make more movies for DC as like a whole, not just the Snyderverse, but as a whole. And he was like, I'm too busy with other projects. And then in the recent interviews, he's like, never say never. So what do you think of that? What do you think? Like he's giving Warner Brothers a chance again?
Maybe. I mean, maybe he's trying to give the fans some optimism. I mean, even though he said he was busy, I mean, that still could have meant he could like just obviously still return later on. So I mean, maybe he's giving the fans kind of more like positive answer, I guess. I could see him coming back eventually, but as of now, I don't think he is. Of course, I think right now, like his next thing is like King Arthur or something like that. I think that's like his next movie. So he's doing other things, but I could see him returning eventually.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what he does next, bro. Army of the Dead seems like it's going to be pretty decent. I mean, the teaser looked pretty good. From what we did see in the trailer, it looked super sick. Like the shots were very Zack Snyder-y, and I'm excited to see what he does with another zombie movie. And then, like Brentley said, the King Arthur movie, we could just have 300 all over again, and I wouldn't mind that. 300 was a very beautiful movie. Once again, Zack Snyder's plots, I guess you could say, aren't the best, but he always makes a visually stunning movie. So I'm always looking forward to his movies in some capacity. So kind of moving on with the Snyderverse talk, I wanted to get your opinion on what you would rather have when it comes to the Snyderverse content, I guess you could say as a whole. So would you rather have all of the movies in the Snyderverse? So from what we know right now, it's Batman with Deathstroke, Batman and Lex Luthor. We have the Cyborg movie. I'm not sure if it's an origin story or it leaves off from where Justice League left off. And then maybe a Man of Steel. I think he was teasing it, like he talked about Man of Steel too, but we never got any confirmation if that's actually in his universe that he's planning. And then obviously the last two Justice League movies. Or would you like would you like to have like a custom movies? Like which movies would you want to see, and how many would you want in that universe, I guess?
Honestly, like I feel like I would be fine with like these two more Justice League movies, honestly, because I feel like this movie already developed Cyborg a lot. I don't even know how much more a solo movie could do, because I feel like he had a really complete arc in the Snyder Cut. I feel like he's having two more Justice League movies that kind of build off the plot of this one. Of course, we still have like the nightmare stuff, and obviously it's Darkseid still has to come to Earth. I think he can do a lot, especially if they were pretty long, like 3 hours or something like that. So I'd honestly just be fine with two more Justice League movies and just ending it right there, I guess.
I would say the same, but then I think when I'm sitting down to watch those movies, I'd be like, God, Wonder Woman's so lame. Like she has no character building anymore. Like from between the two movies, you know what I'm saying? Like Batman's character, I want so much more Batman, and obviously Batman's gonna have an arc in the last two Justice League movies if we get them. But I would love to see a miniseries with Batman and Deathstroke. That would be something I would be willing to see. And we're saying miniseries like it's not Zack Snyder making a 4-hour movie and splitting it up into 30-minute sections. Like it would just be like Zack Snyder shooting a movie except splitting it up. And I think that's something I want to see. So I would agree with you on the Cyborg thing. I don't really think a Cyborg movie is necessary, but I think one movie that's really necessary if we want to see 2 more Justice League movies, especially in Snyder's universe, is a Flash solo movie. And then obviously I 100% want to see a Man of Steel 2, not just because of Zack Snyder, but mostly because I want another Henry Cavill movie as Superman. So that's basically the only reason. But I would say I want a Batman miniseries. I would love to see a Flash movie, but it's understandable if they can't do that, or a Flash miniseries again. And I'd love to see Man of Steel 2, but that's not actually feasible. And for sure, like Brantley said, I would want 2 Justice League movies. If that's the bare minimum we can get, that's what I would want. Should the DCEU and Snyderverse coexist? And then should one be on HBO Max and one be regularly in theaters? Now, the biggest context that a lot of people don't mention behind this question is that there is a whole slate of TV shows that take place in the DCEU that are already coming out on HBO Max. That whole coexisting thing, in my opinion, just wouldn't mesh together.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I don't think the coexisting thing will work. I think it's a kind of one thing or the other kind of situation. Like just one of us has to go one way or the other. Either fully commit to like finishing out the Snyderverse, or just don't touch it at all, honestly. Because I feel like right now with the way DC is though, like nothing's really, I mean, I feel like coexisting wouldn't be too hard, I guess, because there hasn't really been a property yet. It's like super like linked to like the Snyderverse that you can't just like retcon or like change certain details to like make it fit. So, I mean, there's like some like project that's out right now. It's like has like super like heavy like connection to the Snyderverse that's came after the original Justice League movie. So I think you could still kind of play around with some things, but I would just prefer for them just to pick one or the other, not have them coexist.
So I think that we have a higher chance of seeing the Snyderverse now that the New Gods movie was delayed and the Trench spinoff was delayed. And I honestly was really looking forward to the Trench spinoff. So what are your thoughts on that getting not delayed? Sorry, they got canceled completely. So it's, I mean, I'm really sad about that because the Trench was supposed to be a horror spinoff, and that's one thing I was really looking forward to DC doing, going a little bit darker without Zack Snyder in the lead. But what do you think of that whole thing getting canceled? Do you think that is kind of hinting towards them maybe restoring the Snyderverse?
Yeah, well, first I just want to say like DC or Warner Bros. That's the dumbest thing they could have done with cancel the Trench, bro. You have a horror movie with James Wan, the man that directed The Conjuring, and you cancel that. That makes no sense to me at all. Whatever. Like that's literally like his wheelhouse, like his horror movies, and you canceled it. So that's just like a bunch of money wasted, in my opinion. But yeah, I do think that could be hinting at maybe DC or Warner Bros. Trying to do something behind the scenes. Maybe they will restore Snyderverse. I mean, I think just with the big social media movement, of course, Snyderverse had like 1.5 million tweets, something like that. Like people want this. And I feel like when the company sees that, that's like money that they can capitalize off of. So I feel like they should go after it. I think it would make sense from even a business standpoint for them to find some way to monetize this movement and make money off of it. So I think that there is a growing chance of it actually coming back.
Yeah, so I agree with you. Like overall, I think that they should restore the Snyderverse, even if it's just not from a fan perspective. Financially, bro, they can make such a big bag off of these movies.
I mean, I think these other movies in the Snyderverse, like even the other Justice movies, like they shouldn't be 4 hours. I think this is. Because I think this movie, they were going with the approach of like a one-time thing. I don't think that they really expected the Snyderverse movement stuff to come out of it. They're like, okay, we're dropping like this one like grand, humongous, big movie, and that'll just be the end of it. But like now, if they're reconsidering actually implementing a Snyderverse, then I think going forward, they have to definitely make the other films a lot more like realistic and like in terms of like runtime and stuff like that. So
one of the last things I wanted to mention was Ann Sarnoff. We all know she's a little rat, and do we want to believe her or do we want to wait until a higher power, Brantley? What do you think?
I mean, technically, because her like position, like we should kind of like believe her, but at the same time, though, they also said like the Snyder Cut would never come out either. So I think that there's always hope when it comes to this kind of stuff because we've seen it once before. So I think that there's always gonna be a little bit of hope. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely an interesting situation. Definitely just something I haven't seen or never expected to come out of like the whole comic book movie, like seeing like a situation like this where it's definitely been interesting. So I'm excited to see how it plays out. I'm excited to see where DC goes forward. Of course, we have the Suicide Squad coming up, the Batman next year. So DC's still doing a bunch of stuff that I'm excited about, even if they don't do the Snyderverse. So overall, I'm still just pretty excited for whatever they do.
Yeah, I'm super excited for DC as well. Just outside of Snyderverse, Batman is probably my most anticipated movie of all time, and I just can't wait, dude. I literally can't wait for what
Pretty
DC has to
crazy.
soar. DC is so good outside of Warner Brothers, and actually, the last thing I want to mention in this video, last thing I want to ask about, Brinley, do you think Warner Brothers should let go of the DC property and let them be their own thing?
Like, what do you mean? Is that like scrap like the universe or like?
No, 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 no.
What do you
Let
mean?
them do their universe, but just let go of their property.
I mean, yeah, I think at this point that would be best because I feel like just I think if DC honestly like they've been like at like the lowest of low, like they've been there. Like I don't think that we have anything to lose at this point. I don't think that people really care about like the whole like cohesive stuff of the universe. They just want to see good movies at this point. I feel like DC that is like the best like part of the situation that they're in is because I think they can't experiment. People like, really won't care too much. If they try different things that have more freedom as like an overall brand and stuff like that. So I think that would be a cool thing to see because they have like nothing to lose, honestly.
Yeah, bro, they literally rebooted the Suicide Squad and said nothing about it. Like, literally, they don't care. Warner Brothers doesn't care, bro.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's basically it for this video. I mean, Brentley, final thoughts on just Snyderverse movement as a whole.
So here's the thing. So a lot of people online have brought good points how this kind of like overall behavior from the fans is kind of toxic and isn't the best. Yeah. I would have to agree. Like, kind of just like begging and like just like kind of just begging these companies for movies and hoping that they come out is not really a good like behavior to have. Yeah, I guess that would be the main thing I would say. It's not necessarily the best thing I say like for the fan base, but I mean, if that's what they want to do, that's what they want. I mean, it worked the first time. It's kind of Warner Bros. Fault for giving in and dropping the Snyder Cut.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, bro. They gave in the first time. It's completely their fault.
Exactly. So, I mean, they put themselves in this situation. So I can't put 100% blame on the fans.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential. And yeah, guys, that's basically it for this video. Let me and Brantley know what your thoughts on the Snyderverse movement. And if you want the Snyderverse to be restored, is all your thoughts on that kind of stuff in the comments down below. Also, check out all of Brantley's social media. Also, at the top of the description down below. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit the subscribe button if you are new around here. I'll see you next time. Peace.